right, first let me start out by saying I'm gonna try to stay as calm as possible in this video. I am gonna try not to throw down any F-bombs. I cannot promise anything, okay? Today I'm gonna share with you some numbers that are absolutely shocking. I always am looking at numbers. I'm always looking at statistics, and sometimes I see some things out there that just like baffle me, and I'm just like, it's really this bad. It is really this bad. The good news is, if you were watching this video and you were between the ages of, let's say, 15 and 35, we have a great chance of fixing this problem, this epidemic problem we have, okay? These numbers are shocking. This first one's not even the most shocking. This one right here is the most shocking of all right? $11,700. $11,700. Do you know what that number represents? That number represents the average amount of savings a person in America has, a household in America has in savings. This is the average, okay? Average. So this is taken into super rich people, super poor people, everybody combined, an average of $11,700. Once again, this isn't even the worst number. We'll get to this one in just a second. This is such a sad, pathetic number when I look at this. The way I look at this is, first off, how are people figuring out they're going to ever retire, okay? Most people don't really like their job. Let's be completely honest. If they had enough money, they would be gone from that job tomorrow. They would say bye and never look back, okay? So the fact is, most people are never ever going to be able to retire because they don't have any savings. What are you going to do with $11,700? Like how long can you really live off $11,700? You know what most people are betting on? The baby boomer generation, they're betting on hopefully their house, if they actually even own a house, hopefully that appreciates and they can make money from that, and hopefully Social Security will be there, and that's how they can retire. They can live off Social Security, and hopefully if they owned a house, it will go up in price. That is what they're counting on, and that is absolutely the worst way to live. Oh my goodness, guys, $11,700. Like even if your expenses are super cheap, you can't even live off that for more than a few months, guys. That is unbelievable number, okay? That is sad, and don't worry, I'll tell you how we can fix all this, okay? This is the scariest number of all. This is the scariest number of all. $1,000. The bottom 30% of the country, I'm talking United States of America. We're not talking about a third world country. We're talking about the United States of America. The bottom 30% has less than $1,000 in savings. This is a household, less than $1,000, the bottom 30%. This basically means almost a third of the country is like one job loss away from the whole household, being homeless or something like that, or going on to huge government assistance overnight if they're not already on big government assistance, all right? This is like ridiculous, okay? When I think about like the bottom 30% of the country, I would assume, they should have at least like $10,000 plus in savings. However, less than $1,000, that is nothing, guys. Like literally, you get a flat tire and there goes your whole savings if you even had a couple $100 in savings, right? You have a little issue here, a little issue there, and all of a sudden there goes all your money. You have no savings left, guys. This is really scary because when the cards come crumbling down, which again they will, okay, we don't know if it's going to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whenever the economy crashes again, and it will eventually happen at some point in time, we're looking at a situation where the majority of the country is basically screwed massively, okay? Because imagine you lose your job. Imagine you lose your job. What are these people going to do? These people have basically no savings, and the average person has, maybe a month or a couple months worth of savings out there that they can, fund their expenses before they're like, oh, okay, I need a job, I need to do something. This puts the whole country at a massive, massive risk when I look at this, guys. It is a sad, sad thing. And the saddest part of this, we're in a good economy right now. Like, it's not going to get much better than this. I hate to tell people, like, this is about as good as it gets. Maybe it gets slightly better than this, but it's not like it's going to get massively better than this, okay? Like we're in good times right now, and these numbers are still absolutely pathetic. So imagine what these numbers are going to go down to the next time the cards come crumbling down. It is so sad, guys. It is so sad. And all I can think about is, baby boomer generation. What happened to you guys? What happened to the baby boomer generation, guys? If, like I said, if you're between 15 and 35 and you're watching this video, don't let us be another statistic that somebody in 20 years or 30 years from now can do a video about and say, look at how bad that millennial generation screwed up. Look at how much bums they were. They don't even have $10,000 in savings. Like, look at that, guys. It is absolutely sad, okay? Next numbers I want to talk about, 156,000, and then we'll talk about how we get out of this mess, okay? 156,000, this is the average savings for the top 10% of the country, okay? Now, this number right here is, in my opinion, what the median average savings should be. This is what the average household, in my opinion, should have in savings, about 150,000. You know, you don't have a ton of savings, but you have enough that if things went bad and you had to, last a few years on just your savings, like, you would be good. You'd be good on 150,000. This should be the average number, in my opinion. Unfortunately, it's only the top 10%. And then as far as the top 1%, they have over $1.1 million in just savings alone. Okay, this isn't taken into real estate and stuff like that, all right? So when I look at this, I see two core problems and I see two ways we can fix this, okay? The first is, what I see a lot of times from these people, especially the bottom third of the country, is I see them getting into debt problems, okay? We've got to stay off that debt problem. You can't go taking out loans. Stay away from credit cards unless you know how to use them so well, which is most people don't fit in that category of knowing how to use credit cards. Don't ever get a credit card, okay? Don't ever get a credit card unless you are that good with money that you know you can pay them off all the time and you're that professional about it. Don't get it. And most people obviously don't fit the criteria of being good on a credit card, okay? So for the average person, don't get credit cards, okay? The second part is, don't get payday loans. Don't go to title loans. Like figure out a way to do something other than going to title loans and payday loans in those places. They're the biggest ripoffs. They will absolutely, steal all your money, basically, okay? Those type of places, when you do title loans, payday loans, those type of things, a lot of times you can be paying in a 50% interest rate, 60% interest rate, 80% interest rate, which basically means any amount of money you have from your job, or if you have a small business or whatever, is basically going to those guys. So you never get to start building up any real savings, all right? It's debt that is killing everybody's savings out there. They want something, or they put themselves in a hard time because they had no savings to begin with, and the next thing you know, they're stuck in this debt cycle. Unfortunately, this has touched so many people that are very, very close to me, where they get in this debt cycle and they can't rip their way out of it. They're just stuck there, okay? And that's what happens to these folks, okay? So stay away from debt. Don't get that high interest car loan, okay? Don't get those credit cards, and don't get payday loans or title loans or any of that stuff. Stay away from that, okay? I can guarantee you, if you were to look at the financials of these folks, I guarantee you're going to see massive amounts of debt. You're going to see a ton of people that have payday loans out there and title loans and all that junk, okay? Stay away from that. The second part I look at this is savings accounts. Savings accounts rates are pathetic. They have been pathetic for the last decade, okay? I remember I had around $1,000 saved. I was like 18 years old. And I was looking, I'm like, how am I going to grow this money? I'm like, I'm a natural saver. I want to grow this money somehow. How am I going to do it? And I went to the bank and I'm like, trying to see like, what are savings accounts rates? And it was basically almost nothing. It was basically almost nothing. And here we are in 2018, and it still is basically almost nothing from a traditional bank, a Wells Fargo, a Chase, Bank of America, any of those big banks, okay? Savings accounts have got to go up. The reason being is that's like the entry level to get people to start saving money. When most people look at it and they say, well, saving money, how am I going to grow that money? You can't even keep up with inflation with the savings accounts, okay? And let's say even if we were getting a 2 or 3% rate on a savings account, you're probably still not going to be able to keep up with inflation, but at least you feel like you're growing your money. Right now, we don't have that type of situation. And where is the government on all this? Where are the politicians? They love to stick their head in everything. Politicians love to stick their head in everything. Why have I not heard any major politicians out there coming against the banks hard and saying, dude, what is your savings accounts rates at? Why are they so low? Chase, why are your savings accounts? The government loves to stick their head in everything. Why are they not sticking their heads in the big banks and saying, dude, what is going on with your savings accounts rates? Why are these so low? How are we going to incentivize our people in this country to save money when basically, let's see, you guys aren't incentivizing them because it's basically just going to sit there and do nothing, all right? And that's exactly what is happening. It's absolutely sad because there are three main ways you build wealth in this world, okay? The first is stock market investing, the second is real estate investing, and the third is starting a business and expanding that business. Unfortunately, most people don't have the know-how or the confidence to start stock market investing, real estate investing, or building a business. That is just factual information, okay? Most people just don't have the confidence that they could be successful doing that, or they don't have the know-how to do that, okay? So, what does that make it for the average person to build wealth? Savings, and yet we have no rates out there for savings accounts, okay? At least from the big traditional banks that are on every single corner. Look at the amounts they offer. It's pathetic, guys. Like, you can't even keep up with inflation. You gain nothing. You don't build any wealth, okay? So if we could just stay off this ridiculous debt cycle that kills people's money, okay? And all it does is build the small banks and big banks bigger, okay? If we could stay off that debt, and if we could actually get some decent savings rates in this country from the traditional banks that are on every corner, if we could get that, guess what we could start doing? We could start getting out of this situation. And everybody that's watching this video, and especially my younger people watching this video that are under 35, like, let's not be the generation that somebody's doing a video about in 20 or 30 years and saying, look at how much of bums these guys were, $10,000 an average. Let's not be that generation. Let's not make the same mistakes our parents made, load up on debt and just giving all our money to, credit card companies and giving all our money to the big banks and all that type of stuff, guys. Let's stay away from that. Let's focus on really building our wealth out there, guys. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this today. It's a scary situation, guys. When the cards come crumbling, it's not going to be looking good. Thank you for watching and have a great day.